Well, that's a lot of motor. Wow. Welcome to season 2 of Ballin on a Budget. Drift car build. If you guys like carnage, you'll probably see some.
Hater V8, bro.
Okay, so we got this rear cover seal housing off. Wanted to take a look and clean everything up and make sure there's not going to be any issues, but I mean, this is all really clean. It was just leaking inside this housing here, so I pulled the cover off and just cleaned everything up, and now we're just going to go ahead and put some sealant on there. Make sure I have no oil in it. Okay, so now that's on. We can go ahead and clean this oil pan up, and then we're going to put a new gasket on. Forget about, well, they had put so much sealant on here to try to stop it from leaking instead of changing the gasket, so we're just going to change the gasket out, and then we can lower it on some blocks and we can start getting over there and pull it apart. Alright, so we got everything cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and put this oil pan back on. Morning. So yesterday, I forgot my camera here. So 4:30 in the morning, or 4 o'clock in the morning, I decided, you know, I'm gonna pull this engine out. Had a lot of stuff to do last weekend, so we got the engine out, transmission sitting there. It wasn't bad. It was a lot better than getting the 4.6 out, which kind of makes me kind of worried. But getting this into the car here. So right now I gotta take the headers off because I need to. Well, one has a broken stud in it, in the flange there, and the other one has the stupid EGR thing on there. And well, I'm not gonna be using that, and so I gotta take it to work. I can't get the fitting off. I don't have a torch, so I'll take it to work and heat it up and all that fun stuff. And so I can do that. And then so if I get the exhaust manifolds off quickly, hopefully I can plop the engine in and see what it looks like, because that would be fun. So that's the plan, anyways. That's what I'm going to do now. Well, that's a lot of motor. Wow. one of my biggest problems I'm trying to figure out right now is how I'm gonna fit everything in here. I might have to cut a hole in the hood. This is I was worried about not being able to use my brake booster. But I mean, stink, the thing fits in there. The only thing left to do is really I can't do any mock-up until I have the transmission, so so I gotta do that. That looks pretty darn good. Nice. So anyways, I've got the exhaust fan pulled off here. So this is that EGR. So I'm just gonna end up probably, oops, keep that there. We're using this plate here. We're using that plate, and I'm just gonna cut it off. Weld something. This I'm gonna see if I can use a fitting, because cast iron doesn't weld so well. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do today. Hopefully that works. So now the engine's in. Now next thing is to make it fit. Make everything fit.
Good day, YouTube. Today we're going to take a look at my progress. So this is my progress. I have a little fitment issue with my radiator, ever so slightly. It appears things are going to be a little tight. So as a side note, I'm probably not putting the battery up front. For some reason I don't think I'm going to have room. I don't know why. So what I've had to do since I saw you last is I had to pull the Wankel motor, or rotary engine, out of the drifter. Thank you, block of wood. How is that? Not as bad as the Ford. So what we had to do is basically we had to pull the wiring harness out of the engine compartment. Everything's hooked up down here to the ECU, and then there's a couple connections over here. So basically we had to disconnect everything there, and we had to slide out the ECU onto here, and then disconnect all hoses and what have you, unbolt the cross member, the engine mounts, and then we basically just, jacked her out. So it was pretty easy. I mean, of course you have to undo your exhaust pipe, which is 2 bolts, not hard, and I had to take the dry shaft out. The big thing now is with the engine mount. So we have Chevy 350 engine mounts that were donated to this cause by the guy that I bought this car off of. Thank you very much, because that really helps me. So what we had to do is try to integrate the Chevy 350 engine mounts with the Ford 4.6 engine mounts. Now it's not as bad as you think, because the angle of the 350 mounts are fairly similar. So basically what I had to do is I had to take, this is the complex side, so this is the engine, the driver's side with the dipstick coming down the side of the block. So that's why I had to notch this out. So I just used like a 1x2 tubing, and then I notched it out so that the dipstick can slide down in between the groove here. And then what I did is put this plate on the back of the engine mount, the original engine mount, just welded it to it, and then I subsequently just cut everything excess off that we're not going to need. Now with the 350 engine mounts, we're going to have to cut that a little bit to work, and then You sort of look at this and you might think that's not very strong, but with the 350 engine mounts, they're going to go like straight across here and then on an angle like this, and then everything's going to get welded in together, and it's just going to hold this all together. So basically, this is going to be facing, sorry, it's going to sit like this, so facing the engine, and everything, we put one in, and it seems to be very, very close, so that's really nice. And then we just mark where it's going, sort of position it where we want it, and then tack it in place. Now, why haven't I done this yet? Because I like to leave everything to the last minute. No, because I don't have the transmission in there. Now, the way the engine's sitting right now is it's not vertical totally, it's slightly on a bit of an angle. Because of how everything sits, you got a little room on this side. The biggest problem we're gonna face, oh yeah, and no brake booster, thankfully. Thankfully. The biggest problem we're gonna face with this, one of the problems, I shouldn't say biggest, is how stinking close this shaft is to the exhaust manifold, and I mean like rubbing. So that's going to be cool. I've got to mark that out. I've got to grind it out. Hopefully we can make it work. No, not hopefully. We are going to make it work. Even if there's an exhaust leak, I don't really care. So that's what we're sort of doing right now. We're trying to make sure everything fits. I don't want to weld in any of the engine mounts until we have the transmission in there. And I don't have the transmission in there because it's in that. Yes. I am going with the transmission that also went in the Thunderbird Super Coupe edition, or the 3.8 supercharged V8 6. So we needed the full truck because it comes with the bell housing, it comes with the flywheel, and all that other stuff we're going to need to unbolt everything, and to bolt everything onto the Thunderbird engine. I have 2 weeks to get this finished. I have to make sure that I weld in exhaust work because, as the new grassroots rules stipulate, I have to run at least one muffler. And so right now I'm just going to run open headers, but can't do that now, so great. So that's one extra thing. I have to make a list. I'm going to find some cardboard and do the honorary roadkill style checklist, and then it's going to make me cry because of how many things we got to do. But now that I'm done going over this sort of, we're going to go over how to take a transmission out when you're by yourself. Yes, you can use a transmission jack if you have one. You can use a regular jack, but 9 times out of 10, that transmission's going to roll over. And I've had a transmission roll off a jack stand on me and end up cracking the bell housing. Not my finest hour. So what we're going to do today is I've got this nice little rolling cart, and we're going to use my creeper. And we're also going to use these handy ratchet straps, as they work so well to pull the car onto the trailer, and we're just going to run these underneath. So basically I've got everything unbolted under that transmission. Not really going to go into how to pull this. I've just got to undo the slave cylinder 2 bolts, of course, after I put these ratchet straps in place, and then we can go ahead and pull this transmission out. I'm done talking for a few minutes. Let's go.